Hello, everybody. Waiting for some humans to I see some people come to me. Just please tell me sound is working. That's all I need to know to make sure the show can. Hello, Akiko. Hello. Can you guys hear me out there? Is sound working? Just I need some sort of a clarification that you guys can hear noises coming out of my face. Anyone? Sound working? Yes, no? Yay! All right, cool. Good times. It's Don Gibson said you made the spinach artichoke dip from a recommendation. I'm very glad. That is one of the biggest hits at each of my holiday fiestas. It's like somehow it turns from a dip into a thing that people just put into a bowl, and just like I think people view the crackers as just a shoveling mechanism for the spinach artichoke dip, which I applaud that method of consuming it. But yeah, I think that I'll have to drop the recipe for spinach artichoke dip into the into the comments here. It's just yeah, very very easy to make and big hit at any fiesta you were at. Yeah, I decided today that because every technique I've used to attempt to get people to pay attention and listen to the fact that COVID is gonna fucking kill you and spread across the country and fill up. Sabrina, I was asked to remind me about the food channel on Discord. You know what? Whilst we are doing, I'll add that right now. Whilst we're in convo on that, I figured every other every other thing that we have that we have. There we go. There is now, it should be showing up. Yeah, there is now a food channel on the Discord. There you go. It's been done, Sabrina. Every other attempt that we made to get people to listen to the fact that COVID is happening and a thing and gonna kill you, and maybe perhaps you shouldn't go on your Thanksgiving fiesta. Simon has entered the chat. This was the biggest travel week of the year, as it usually is. People are still like, hey, travel was down 50%, which still means that it was by far the biggest travel week of the year. So since people pay attention to women putting makeup on the internet, I'm going to talk about COVID while putting makeup on. Also, this is me looking not it's here's I want it's so someone just Keith Gauthier just asked, Pats are on, what's the matter with you? I don't give a flying fuck about football. That's what's the matter with me. Like, I'm sure football is like and it's not that I'm a lot of these people, it's like sports, but like I've tried to like football. Like, I'm a huge baseball fan. I really enjoy watching hockey. Like, I've had so much fun at the live hockey games I've been to. They're wonderful. I used to play basketball and I love basketball. I cannot for the fucking life of me get into football. That, and I don't know, like I've seen me some like maybe it's because I grew up a Red Sox fan that Pats fans now remind me of like late 90s, early 2000s Yankees fans, and I fucking can't with it. So anyways, it's Keely Longer just said football is boring. Look, I'm not saying it's boring. I'm saying I just don't like it. Like, and for people who do like it, good for you. It's like I like baseball. Some people like it's just it's not for me. Anyways, so we're gonna go through the spackling paint that I throw onto my face so that I feel good enough to come in front of you guys and talk about science on a weekly basis, because I talk about the fact that I put on a drag every week before I do this, and I think some people say to me, like, you guys will say to be kind, and I appreciate that. You don't need makeup, you don't need boat, and here's the thing: nobody needs these things. But that's obviously there are, like, you need food, shelter, medicine, whatever to survive. I don't do these things for you. I do these things so that I feel good enough about myself, so that I feel, good, so that I feel happy about the picture that I see at the end of the day. Like, part of this, like, it's, there have been studies showing that women, and this fascinated me, women in prison would exchange favors with the prison guards. They would exchange sexual favors with prison guards, not like to in order to get makeup, which fascinated me. They weren't like putting on makeup in order to attract the prison guards. They were trying to, like, I don't know, people like to feel pretty. That's just a fucking thing. Anyways, so as other humans do, I like to feel good about myself. And being whenever people are like, "You're a scientist," being a scientist doesn't stop me from being a person on the internet who occasionally gets really nasty fucking comments into the comment section saying, "You're not a babe." I've gone through 6 years of that, and like I don't think people understand what that does to you wanting to stay, at a healthy weight, wanting to, stay, stay, keep your skin looking like these things do pick away at you. And it also, it makes you want to whenever you see something that you go, you want to look good, and there's nothing fucking wrong with that. Like, don't let the vanity go too extreme, but I want my face to look all right when I come in here to chit chat with you guys. So let's start off. So I'm gonna give you guys the business behind all this. So before I got onto here, obviously washed my face, threw on some moisturizer. If you guys have not, and of course we'll chit chat. If I see questions about COVID while we're going, I will stop and answer them. I was reading about the Danish mink, and now like the worldwide COVID mink issue before before this started, and I'm kind of fascinated that we now have this this mutate. God damn it. I have a new favorite foundation, and it's available next to nowhere, and it has like 2 shades, pale and paler. But anyways, I'm kind of fascinated that this thing, that we've found one species it goes into, it's mutated, and like now we're trying to figure out, has it mutated in a way that's going to hurt humans? And it's like, it doesn't seem so yet, but it's also like kind of wait and see. So anyways, foundation, back of the hand, try to keep it to as little as possible. Now this was a BB cream, and there are a couple different, here's for any of you guys who like don't do makeup at all, this might be deeply informative for you, so that you're looking through your wife's makeup collection going, I know what these things are. Or if you're a woman who doesn't do makeup yet and you're like curious, hopefully this will, I don't know. But so there are a couple different designations of things you put on your face to even out your skin tone. There's foundations of various opacity, and then there's CC and BB creams that are supposed to be lighter in opacity. And this one's a BB cream, and they're supposed to be like full of minerals and stuff to make your skin better. And they're supposed to be less opaque. And this one's a BB cream, and somehow it's opaque as fuck. And it gives me a nice glowy, dewy finish. So I love the shit out of it. And it was at my local Korean store. And Korean skincare is just, it's probably, my husband jokes, it's my astrology. Like, I believe in it. It makes everything look better. Like my facial, hold on, got to move this away a little bit. Like my facial, whatchamacallit, SPF is a Korean one. Just everything that I buy from Korea for my face just makes it look better. But as you can see, like, it's getting rid of, like, like I said, I'm not complaining that my face looked like awful before, but as you can see, some of the redness is going away, and there's that little bit of dewiness that makes me look like I didn't, makes me look like I moisturized more diligently than I have. And these are, these are all things that make me feel better about my face. But, once upon a time, when my skin was more broken out, it was really hard to feel. It was hard to feel good about. I have a mirror over to the side, so if you guys are wondering why I'm like looking over here, it's like it's not exactly easy to look at the screen and try to judge what I'm doing from the screen. So pop it over here and try to get a mirror. Physics, man, physics. So, but yeah, like it's not always easy to look at things that are broken out, that you're starting to use retin A for your acne and your skin's dry, and like you don't want people to see how much of a mess your skin is. like to feel okay about yourself. And now my skin it's doing really well. Oh, by the way, I use Curology. If any of you guys are struggling with your skin, I have dealt with acne for fucking years. I've talked about it before. Using Curology consistently and just making sure I take off my makeup before the end of the night fucking consistently has changed my skin entirely. Like I really now, like a lot of days when I do my makeup for the stream, I only just put like concealer on my under eyes, concealer on like redder areas of my skin, do a little bit of blush and contour, and some eyeliner and call it a day. I decided to do full drag today because obviously. So let's see. HJK over on YouTube just said all the steps though gotta be good. We're gonna go through as much as we can. So one thing to remember, of course, is you guys probably remember a lot of makeup looks from the 90s, and from the 90s I mean from high school. A lot of people's makeup lines like stopping right here and that orange line. Now makeups have gotten better about not kind of doing that because they're less likely to oxidize, because there are a couple things that your makeup can do while it's drying down. I forget, it gets on your face when it dries out, when it gets exposed to oxygen, it can change color a little bit. So I try to dab it down the neck a little teens a bit to make sure that it's all blended. The other thing is this is a really good match for me, so I like the color. Anyways, like this one is so opaque that if I so felt, I could stop here, but we're gonna keep going. We're covering up all my sins today. So hunting around for somewhere. So it exists. I trust it exists somewhere over here. I know. I brought it over for aha. All right. So Jesse just said I need to look up this Curology stuff. Look, I didn't expect it to work as well as it did, because because I've used every other system that's guaranteed to work. Like I've used Proactive off and on over the years, and that kind of worked. This is the first one that's worked long term. I would second Jay's question about the vaccine results if you can. Let me scroll up to grab it. I don't want to miss it whilst I'm doing it. That way I can, let's see. That way I could chit chat it. Let's see. Do you trust the Russian vaccine claims? What exactly are the claims? Or they say I know that they have said they have a vaccine that's out. How accurate are they, or how good are they saying it is? Just get me. I'm gonna say I probably do not trust it, but it's like do I trust claims about a vaccine coming out of Russia? No, probably not. But it's 95% effective. I need to know what type of vaccine it is. I want to see the data on it. Like, because here's the thing, I wouldn't. If a company won't release their data on the vaccine before telling us these things, it's hard. It's hard to trust it anyway. But like I said, want to see the data. So now is the part of this where I look absolutely insane, where I'm just like putting dots all over the place. So there's this thing called highlighting and contouring, where you're putting lights on, or it's light on areas that you want to get rid of any redness, and you're kind of putting shadows on areas where you want to look a little thinner. And I could kind of skip this for everything except really like there's one more thing I want to do. So as we get older, some parts of our face, unless we start using filler, look, I have a 5-year plan for my face. There's going to be filler here. There's going to be filler here. Like I'm going to de-age over the next like 10 years. So like when this part of my skin starts looking like, ooh, Yvette's looks somehow refreshed. I'm admitting to you now, one day when I can afford it, there will be filler in this face. Just accept it now. It's just going to happen. I see a really long comment that I can't tell. All right. That's just that appears to be spam. Anyway, so once we have this on, like the thing about, and I'm using for this one Tarte Shape Tape. There are a lot of other really good concealers out there. Milani makes one for like $8.99 that you can get at the drugstore. That's really, really good. And I use that quite a bit of the time for about the same thing. Now, it's this, like I said, the foundation that I use worked really, really, really well to cover up all my sins. I just use this for like when I want everything to look ultra snatched, ultra tight, ultra snatched, I will go in and add the little bit on top. But the other thing is, no matter what, like it's hard to get your dark circles down to nothing. And this is one of those like getting, there is a secret to getting your dark circles down to nothing. And I'm about to look just fucking insane because I'm going to show you how to bake your under eyes. If you've never, like, if you might have seen this from one of those YouTube videos, like with a YouTuber that all they do is makeup. I believe they're called beauty vloggers, but like where you apply all this this spackling of makeup underneath your eyes. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit more on just to drive the point home. But there are things that can happen when you put your under eye makeup or your under eye concealer on and it creases up. And there are ways to stop that where you put a ton of powder on. And what the powder does is it absorbs the excess fluid that's left in the concealer you just put on, and it makes it kind of, I don't want to say solidify, but it helps it stay in place. So let's blend this out. And I like using a sponge because it's up and down motions, like, and unlike brushes where a lot of people it's very tempting to just go this up and down motion, pop, 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 and it makes it blend really, really easily. Like, I'm not an amazing artist. I watched a lot of YouTube videos to help calm myself down. When I'm tired of arguing pseudoscience on the internet, that's what I'm doing is I'm watching Nikki tutorials. She's amazing. It's that I've learned everything I know from Nikki, but look at that. Blend it out just that easily. Like I said, I'm not a great artist. It's just bop, 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 blend it out. It's very, very easy. But it's just, it gets that last little bit of darkness that's in there done and out and blended into the cheek and highlighted. The other thing I'll do is I'll take that last bit of makeup that's on there because I want, like, we also have eye makeup primers that do a very similar thing for your eyelid. Now, I like my eye makeup primers too, but concealer does about the same job if you kind of take after you've concealed and just do bop, 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 bop onto your eyelid, and it will make your eye makeup stay on. So anyways, now that I've done this to my under eye, I really want this to stay put quickly. So I'll go into my setting powder from Atomic Cosmetics. I really, really like this one. And just pack on so much powder, it looks ridiculous. Like, I look insane right now, and I know it. But I'll also do this when I want things to really fucking stay put all over my face. Like, if I have a stage show, if I'm going to be doing, like, once upon a time, when there was still a world that we went out into, when I was doing a media day or whatever, it's anywhere that had concealer on, anywhere that had like that my face moved a lot, you would just sit there and fucking pack this shit on. So that is that's the method right there. But from here, it's time to do a little bit of my contour. Now, everyone, here's the thing. This is what works for me. For some of you guys might be looking at this going, what are you doing? Why would you do it this way? That's not what works for me. It's fine. It's makeup. There are no fucking rules to it. Just, do what works for your face. Like, this is my stupid fucking face. Do what works for your stupid fucking face. Anyways, this is what makes me feel happy and beautiful. Am I pretty yet? God, someone gif that one. But anyways, that's where we are right now. So I'm going to scroll through a few comments to see where to grab some things I can see. Let's see. Remdesivir question: is there any trials that would confirm its efficacy in the initial stage of infection? Obviously, no antiviral drug would work well in the last stage. It seems like remdesivir is a flop, which is really really disappointing and unexpected. I thought that remdesivir was gonna be more helpful than it was, and it seems the evidence is kind of minimal that it does much. I think that we're going to be looking more towards I think this is not the antiviral we're looking for, which surprised me after all was said and done. HJK over on YouTube. I'm super jazzed about the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. $2 a dose means we're going to get this quickly. And I feel bad because I believe that's the one that they rolled out the messaging on it. I'm going to start on cheek contour. I just really want to quickly tell you guys how this works. Like, basically, you're looking for the parts that look darker. Like, when you suck in your cheek, You can feel the parts that it's like, oh, there's where the hollow is. And you just go in. Like, I try to lift it up a little bit. It's like, it's there. I'm going to go a little higher and give yourself some extra cheekbones on. But yeah, it's with the vaccines coming out, like as they are with AstraZeneca. I need to push this back a little bit. Like, I think they botched the rollout on that one because they were like, yeah, with one dosage, it's 60 to 70% effective, and another dosage, it's 90% effective. And that could not have helped people's perception of either the trial or the efficacy of the vaccine. Like, that's not good SciComm. Like, I feel like they should have, worked out the messaging on that one a little better before they were like, oh, we got this vaccine ready. But like, it's really good news from AstraZeneca, and we're not chit-chatting about that a lot. HJK, it's the exact thing that I just, it's a dosing issue. Higher dose. Are you sure you don't have those correctly? Higher dose 70%, lower doses 90%. Do you mean the reverse? I'm guessing you mean the reverse. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's but yeah, it's just that be the deal with them. It's like, if they had just been like, we need to be careful with how we message this, or consulted with somebody that does SciComm. Oh wait, that's not reverse. It's the lower dose actually has higher immune. I'm fascinated, and I need to read up on this more. Wow. All right. So here's the thing that I do that's hard. It's counterintuitive, but less is more. That I'm going to read up on after this is over. So here's the thing that I do that is a little difficult and unnecessary. So I find my nose is a little asymmetrical, and that bugs me. And it's also it's like, it also, I find the shape of my nose gets washed out on camera, like, just because I have so much light coming on. So I try to give my nose a little bit more structure through here with some contouring. And I try not to overdo this, but sometimes I end up doing it. So as I joke about this as a Jew. I say I'm contouring the Jewiness right out of my nose. But yeah, it's like it looks difficult, but basically all you're doing is getting drawing this very lightly, a little line up and down the nose, up and down the center of it. And oh, look at that. It's a little straighter and has a little more structure to it. And it's not bad that is not difficult at all. And it makes me feel okay about that. But like I said, little asymmetrical, and I don't ever, like, I know people who would look at that and go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to surgery that into symmetricality. I would not do that. But you know what I will do? Apply a little bit of face paint. So I'm still fascinated that the lower dose did better. That's good. That's really good. Wow. Anyways, let me just finish doing that. And the one thing you'll know, like, here's the thing that I've learned over time with makeup: when you throw on extra, if you look at it and go, this is a little too dark somewhere, I want to move this somewhere else, there's a wonderful thing where a brush full of loose powder will fix all of your fucking sins. Brush full of, like, yesterday I put on too much blush, and my amazing way to fix that was by taking the blush brush that already had blush on it and being like, I can fix this by spreading it, and it put more blush on me. Brush full of loose powder fixed it. So when you, like, and the other thing is, guys, it's like, if you're someone who's trying to get comfortable with makeup and you want to try out a new thing, fucking try it. If you fuck up, you can take it off and try it again. I fucked up so many ugly ass cut creases before they looked okay. And I still fuck up one occasionally. You try and it gets better. It's the same thing with a lot of stuff in life. Like, you weren't good at sex the first time. You're not going to be great at contouring the first time either. So anyways, there's that. So there's my contoured nose. Sometimes occasionally I'll put a little bump in when I want to go a little extra. And sometimes I'll go even thinner than this when I'm like, I want to look snatched. I want to look on fleek. So there we go. Thank you, HJK, for the link. I'm going to click on. It's the hard part about clicking on this in Restream is if I click on this, it will show it on the. It will show it on the screen here, but it won't let me click on the link. So I will check that out later. Thank you so much. So anyways, we've gotten up to this point. The one, let's see, I will also contour and do a little bit of bronzer on my 5 head that I've got up here. I mean, the kitty ears, help to obviously, cover up all of, to make just camouflage what's going on up there. But contour is just to kind of make everything a little bit more the shape that we want it to. Put a little more shadow where we want a little more shadow. It's just all about playing with shadow and light. It's like you want things to look a little smaller, add a little contour. You want them to look a little bigger, add a little highlight. It's not rocket. It's not rocket science. It's more figuring out how the brush is supposed to feel in your hand when you're doing this. How much pressure, how much, like how to work with the medium. Like I had it's one of my trans girlfriends. She had just transitioned and not at 30 years old hadn't used makeup, and also wanted to feel comfortable in the skin she's in, and wanted to feel on the outside the way she felt, or look on the outside the way she felt she looked on the inside. So we sat down and I taught her the rope on makeup, and it was like I wanted to put the sponge into her hand and say bounce it up and down and say, here's how it feels, here's how, and I took it and had her hold my hand and say, here's how this is how much pressure it is when I'm doing it, and those kinds of things. And it's hard to learn what that is when you're watching someone else doing it, until you've practiced it a few times and seen how this kind of stuff is supposed to feel. So a lot of it is just practicing. But the couple things I've learned from watching YouTubers after years of just being like, I'm gonna throw out a bunch of makeup, start light and build. Like, notice how long it's taking me to get like a little bit of bronzer on. You're probably looking at each stroke going, you're not putting anything on. If you go back to like 30 seconds ago, you'll see that it's changed, and it's taking some time to build up. And it's also like, if this was without lighting, you would see it much more, because I can see me here without the lighting that's from over there, and there's much more happening back here than you can see without lighting. Man, does it you have no idea how much it washes you out. Let's see. Ray, I can't express how nice and wonderful it is when we just transition into adulthood and someone helps us with makeup. It's my mom just said makeover next time we travel. I love doing my mom's makeup. She said I'm the only person who knows how to do her eyes, which, look, I've been looking at them my entire life. I know how to do my mommy's eyes. But no, I think that, like, I feel like if people miss, I'm also at a little like private group of like friends that like it's like, one of my friends started doing makeup for the first time when she was like 29, and was like, all right, I want to know how all this stuff works. So we just made a little private makeup group. And now whenever one of us finds a product that we love or a palette that's great, like, we all just drop our stuff in there. Like, I just got a new blow dryer that has a comb in it that, like, I really love it. I'm like, everyone get this. So that's, I'm 37 and I'm still sharing makeup tips with my girlfriends. So let me scroll through and see if I can find any more COVID questions, or whilst I'm on to my next thing, which gonna be the eyes. Let's chat a little. Let's see. Let's chat a little bit about the COVIDs that happened this weekend. So it was interesting watching the number of people that for a fact knew this was a bad idea, and still, I've got a couple different palettes here. What I've for and when I say a couple different palettes, I mean I have a stack, but this one's got a bunch. Like, when I work from this, I have just colors to go from, and for most days I go for something that's not that's easy, that I can quickly do, a couple little colors and build, and just some quick little whatchamacallit, some shimmery stuff on the corner of my eye. I don't do anything way too crazy. Once in a while, I'm like, let's add yellow to the corner, and those are really fun. But we're just going to show you the basic. Here's how I make myself look more awake, because as you can probably tell, I look a little sleepier than usual, and that's all. The biggest thing that makes the change is eyeliner, at least for me. So for this stuff, you start off with one of the lighter shades. and build is something. If you've ever seen a YouTuber doing this, that's exactly how it works. So again, light brushes and blend and just keep building, and eventually it gets to be a thing. And like I know looking at the color, it just looks tan, and once you get it on, you're like, oh, that's actually putting some color on. But like one of the other reasons I want to do this is a number of times I will see I'll see somebody say, I don't like women with makeup, or they'll see a video of a YouTuber putting on makeup, and they'll say they don't think it's the same person from beginning to end. I kind of wanted to pop that bubble, because I'm obviously not a professional makeup artist. I'm a person who learned this, in my free time, because I wanted to look better while I'm on stage talking about science, and also because it's really relaxing watching people do this. It's so delightful, isn't it? And it's nice seeing some art happening live on someone's face. So we've already got this little. So what I'm like, different people have different eye shapes, and you want to kind of accentuate and open the eye a little more. Like that's kind of the goal when you're putting on makeup, is kind of make everything, like make the eye a little more open, make the cheekbones, like make things look a little thinner, make the cheekbones look a little higher. You want things to look a little like better, brighter, big. Anyways, so with this right now, I'm trying to lift them up a little bit by trying to make the part that looks that's a little darker look a little bit higher up. So I'm setting this closer to up here as opposed to down. Like it's just the tiny little bit of lift by whereabouts I'm dropping this color. Now that's different for everyone based on their eye shape. I've got a hooded lid, and hooded lids are a little bit difficult, and that took a long time to learn. And that's another ball of wax. Ian King says, I'm going to assume no pants. It's fucking cold up here today, and there are pants. So anyways, now that we've gotten kind of a little layer of this, I think I'm gonna do some. It's like, I know this looks very kind of like a bright orange, but I love this orange shade, and we're gonna go for it, because somehow it doesn't look as orange on your eye as when you apply it. Like it looks like this kind of wonderful warm brown, and I just dumped way more of that that I planned on. And that's the problem. These are like, when you get a really, really pigmented palette, you have to work slowly with them, because like the colors, they last forever. They're really good, but man, they're out to dump themselves onto your face if you're not careful with them. So, like I said, good colors. They're also forgiving. Like this is the palette from Tati. She's one of the, I mean, I know it's been impossible to avoid entirely all of the the beauty community influencer drama. Look, I'm just saying, Smashbox, put me on your fucking mailing list. I will review all of your shit, and I won't get into a fight with James Charles. I'll do it's. I won't argue with a single beauty YouTuber, and I'm doing this. Look at me. I can bake my under eyes. I could do it. I could even bake my under eyes and tell people to wear a mask. So, anyways, back to this. So again, building a little bit. We want little light, slow build of colors up to here, a little bit more. And now, after we've gotten a little build of colors, right? We're looking at this going, something's happening here. There's a little bit more colors. We're going to add kind of a darker accent color. I have a handful of brushes over here to my left, out of view. There are all of these. there are a handful of brushes that you cannot see that are for various purposes of different types of applications. Let me see. Where's the one that I need? It's always the one that you need that you can't find, right? Let's see. Here we go. And now I kind of want to draw like a little bit of a shape over here, because you want something kind of helping point that upwards. And I'm going to use the brown that I've got in this palette that's a little bit darker to pull that upwards, and just kind of connect everything with a little direct blending over here. Like I said, Smashbox, call me. But yeah, this it's right now in LA. We have, as mentioned in the last post, we have a shelter in place order starting on Monday and going until December 20th. And I'm like, I'm not sure how much they think that's going to help, given that we're already on track to have full ERs or full hospitals by Christmas. So a little concerned about that. I don't know how much good it's going to do, like, because everywhere that, and this seems to be, a bit of a pattern. Everywhere that's like, we need to do something to reverse this, they seem to get to the we need to do something to reverse this point after they're at a point where they can't reverse it. Like the hospitals are on track to be well over to be fucked by the time they reverse it. So I don't know how bad it's going to be in LA, but we are, from what I read yesterday, we are going to be full up by Christmas, and that's like, I'm not sure if that's assuming perfect calculation of what's happened over over the Thanksgiving holiday. And that's, like, that's in California, where this thing has been like, it's per capita, this has not been as bad as it's been in other parts of the country, which that's horrifying. But I like look at places like the Dakotas, where it's you have a better chance of getting of having COVID right now and dying of COVID right now in the Dakotas than fucking anywhere else, and they have natural social distancing. Just if you can't keep your distance from people in the Dakotas, you did it wrong. You moved to a place that was just like, hey, it's like social distancing should be in the state's motto. At least that's my theory. All right, I want a little bit more lift on this. Sometimes, like, if I want a little more on one area, I'll just dot it right on and just blend out. Like I said, I'm not the best at this. I just know how to work with my face shape. I can do other people's makeup to a point, but it's never quite as good as these are the eyes that I work with every day. Scrolling back up, I see I see discussion going back and forth with Akiko, who's, look, I have favorites here, I'm not going to lie. I've been getting into arguments with anti-maskers, COVID deniers, open up everything now, people. I tell them I'm battling cancer and I don't want to die of COVID before cancer kills me. You have no idea how many people are basically telling me I don't deserve to live if it means they're going to be inconvenienced. And this bothers the shit out of me, because whenever I hear people say, it's just people with pre-existing conditions, I think of a lot, like, I think of Akiko. I think of the Akikos of the world who have a thing that they could survive if people were just not, selfish dicks about this. If people, like, every time, the number of times I've seen someone after they say my friend died of COVID, respond with, "Did they have pre-existing conditions?" As though that makes it okay that they died. Like, your friend is no less dead just because there was a pre-existing condition involved. I need to dot this a little higher. Come on, a little more higher up. We can do this. All right, there we go. Come on. She's a slow growing girl, but she's coming to life. There we go. Okay, we're at a point where we're at a point where I don't hate this. We're getting there. And then, of course, just kind of to tap it together, I'm just tapping into both the orange and the brown and kind of giving this a little smoke out down here to tie this all together. Like I said, I know this still looks insane. I have fucking powder on my cheek, John, ever since then I've got you on my TV. Oh, man. I'm terrified about what I look like on someone's TV while I have just this in HD with my fucking powder everywhere. But I hope I'm entertaining. Look, if I'm entertaining you, sign up for my Patreon. Help me keep the side pets vaccinated. There's also there is an extra. I did this because my Patreons were like, yeah, you should do it. So you guys have my patrons to thank for this. It's why I'm both, makeuping whilst COVID rambling. But yeah, there's nothing about what happened that makes me think we're going to be fine and we're going to get out of this. So now what I want to do is I want to highlight these parts in here, because normally, as you guys saw before this all started, this area, my eyes kind of looked very flat, right? So this kind of makes it gives the illusion that I have these more deep inset eyes, and then it's going to give that illusion that I have that nice crease when I put on. It's like, and I'm doing kind of a cheater cut crease. So I'm going to add on one of these nice highlight colors, and then to be extra for you guys today, I'll put glitter on top of it. But let's see, and I always go like a little higher than what the natural crease of it would be, and like I said, just adds a little to the reshaping of what's happening with my face. So let me just pack that on, and you can do brushes, you can do your fingertips, whatever fucking works for you. You almost, Kevin said, you almost got into a fight with me until you figured out I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I do that sometimes. I'm sorry. It happens. It's a stressful time. I apologize. Well, anyways, it's a thing. It's a thing that happens. Anyways, so let's see. Just packing on as much as I can here. The more I say packing, the more sexual it feels. All right, so now we have shiny eyelids and throwing on, just like I said, because we can and because there's all this glitter, throw it on some glitter on top. Glitter, glitter, glitter. There's some types of glitter that you need glue to use, and this is the brilliance of the Tati palette and why all of her ridiculous drama with James Charles in my book was forgivable. This palette, cancel me if you want for this, but I love this. Anyways, so glitter, 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 glitter. So when you see people with eyes that look like they're just reflective in every direction, that's all they've done is just taken their finger into something like this and just dip, 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 dip. So now, like I said, this still does not look like the completed thing. Let's see. Russell Smith, my state legislators are still blowing off all hospitalization numbers because we handled bigger ones in March. Of course, back then, there were hospitals out of state who could take our overflow. Yeah, like I think that's one of the things that's scary now is I think hospitals, like we're still dealing with legislators who are just sticking their head in the sand about this. Like there's not a single hospital administrator out there. All right, and on to eyeliner. And I wanted to say, I want to be socially conscious about something. I really, really dig the tattoo liner from Kat Von D. And I got it originally in a kit that had a bunch of other stuff in it. Like I said, I just please don't crucify me for this. And I was like, I like this so much, and I don't want to buy another one and give that fucking anti-vax Nazi crazy person any more money. Then I found out she no longer makes money off of that company, and I'm like, give me that fucking eyeliner. So yeah, it's my favorite eyeliner. It's really good. It goes on smooth, dries quickly, and stays on forever. So that's just it's Amy Religious said if you you're talking to someone else. I'm like I don't know if you're saying it to me that you would follow my my makeup tutorial channel or to someone else in the comments, but if you're saying it to me, I'll do COVID makeup tutorials. I'll do what I can to keep people from getting COVID. If it involves putting on makeup in front of a camera, I will fucking do it. But the numbers are gonna kind of, no matter what, explode in the next few weeks. Like, and there was an article, I believe from the Texas Tribune that I shared a couple days ago, talking about how the numbers are going to look after this, and they're going to go through a couple of bumps, like over the next few days, because people. Sarah Morrow said, I love KVD mascara. I also got a KVD mascara with the kit that this one came in, and my fucking God, is it good? And I feel guilty. I feel guilty for how much I like it. It's so good. But today I'm going to use the Thrive mascara that I got for free at the AVNs, because that one's really, really good too. Anyways, back to this. So sometimes when I'm doing the eye makeup, I'll like pull the eye out and do this really, really long pointy thing. Today we're just going basic on it. The one of the downsides to glitter is it's getting caught in the glitter, man. It's fucking craft herpes. But yeah, like that's the downside to the glitter. I probably should have packed that on last, but it's getting into the eyeliner. That'll be fine. It'll come out eventually. But yeah, when I want to go a little extra on the eyeliner, I'll extend it all the way out. But like I said, the eyeliner makes a really big difference, because all of a sudden I feel like that makes the eye look awake, right? It's not a bad little touch. But when I do eyeliner on the lower on the lower lid, I'll only do it on the outside, because I feel like once you do it on the inside, it kind of closes the eye up a little bit more, and not what I'm aiming for. So boop, 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 boop. And voila, we are very close to this being being a thing that's done. I feel like now that the liner is on, it's like, we've crossed a large mountain at this point. So hold on a second. Somewhere over here is the ginormous dick of mascara that I should throw on. And it's weird because like you can't really see, it's not like you can directly see the lashes in a video unless I have like fake lashes on, but like without them, it's like you can somehow see the little wispies of lashes that don't have mascara on, which is even more annoying. So it's like I don't know what fucking trick of optical physics makes that happen, but here we go. Mascara is just a thing that somehow seems necessary to stop my eyelashes from looking like they've gone gray. And I have long lashes, so why not? If I was actually motivated in being a good makeup tutorial person, I would use a lash curler afterwards. Ginormous dick of mascara. Cyber 2020. Look, I'm doing what I can. People are discussing what. Let's see. Lancome Definicils is amazing mascara. That is a good one too. I've enjoyed that one as well. I think I still have their primer, and I would have used their mascara primer before this. I still have it, but I was looking at it going, I don't know how old this is, and I don't want to give myself pink eye while we're in an era where one of the symptoms of a deadly disease is floating. It's fucking pink eye. So I opted out of that. So anyways, let me just finish with this. And I do not know why we do this while we're putting on mascara. I have not figured it out yet. So I know it has something to do with thinking it'll keep us from blinking. I think I think it's a dull exercise. Anyways, scrolling. Gotta try to get them. Gotta go with the offspring line. Gotta keep them separated. Just there we go. Just I have one clump that I want. Come on. Separate. There we go. Have to go in manually. There we go. Separate that clump out there. Separate my wayward son. There we go. All right. And lower lashes. There we go. All right. And there we have it. With Visi lashes, we are almost done. And we have just a couple more steps. A couple of people saying that the search for the perfect mascara is a thing. Like I said, this one came gifted in a set at the AVNs. The Cupcake Girls were giving out a bag full of makeup from Thrive, and I used some of the other stuff from Thrive, but this is the main one I used. Their mascara, it's fucking mint. It just it works. It doesn't clump up. I'm picky about my mascara because my eyelashes are long and it's really easy for them to get tangled or look spider lashy, or like when I squint for it to get, break off onto my cheeks. I like this stuff, and I really like the Kat Von D stuff. So there are my recs. And also somebody said Definicils earlier. That one's also a really good one. And people will comment about my eyebrows from time to time. This is my eyebrows without anything on them. This is the only thing that I really do to my eyebrows, a really cheap NYX brow mascara. And it's just this is the entire process. Just fluffing them forward. Oh, and of course I got a little schmutz on my forehead from that. That's while I'm doing the demo of how great I am at this, I fuck it up, of course. Hold on. You didn't see that. Pretend you didn't see that. But yeah, just push them forward to try to fluff a little bit of this around all of the hairs. Not all the hairs. Get them a little thicker, a little more love, and then brush them back. Just makes them look a little fuller and bushier brows, make you look a little bit more youthful. That's all. And same thing on this side. It's the outer, here's me trying to show you a thing, and I'm doing this. Very helpful, I know. But yeah, the outer bit of your eyelash is more likely to lose furs first. So get quite a bit on the outer bit to make sure that you still look like you have lashes on, or eyebrows on that part of it, and kind of, like I said, fluff it up, and there you go. And there's the whole look. So I know some people have have like a whole huge brow routine, but I also have decent brows to start with, so not a thing I have to do. So we are about done. The one thing I always add blush last, just that's kind of my technique. So with blush, I try to use something that I'll go orange, blush and lipstick, but I love this color in here, but it's really fucking dark. I'm gonna take, here's what I'll do. I'll do this I'll go really, really light with this, and then it's gonna like it might go a little too dark, but then lights. Anyways, let's just this. I love doing this dark, dark blush, and then just apply really, really lightly. Boop, 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 boop. But it's just such a pretty color. This is this like I literally use this dark, dark red for my blush like almost every live stream, and just go so light. And every time, and this happened yesterday for the patron live stream. All of a sudden, I had these crazy dark spots of red, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna use my brush full of transparent of clear powder and just get it off. And look at that. That crazy dark red came out, and it's fine. Nice, easy. I'm gonna add a little bit more actually. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Nice, happy, rosy cheeks. And if we're gonna do one last thing before we brush off the excess. Actually, we're gonna brush off the excess powder now. Just take a brush and woof, woof, woof. All of that extra. All of the extra stuff that was there making me look a little crazy does not have to be there anymore. See that? Oh, there was one place I forgot to contour, and this is just a little trick that I was skeptical at first, but it fucking works to make your lip look a little poutier, a little. And it's like this. At first, you're like, this is gonna make me look like I have a dirty face. A little bit of contour underneath your lip, and it's crazy that this visual trick works. But da, 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 right underneath the lip. Hold on a little bit more. I don't know why. It fucking works. It makes your lip just look that little bit more pouty. But there's your random ass secret to extra pouty lips. It's just a little bit of dark contour, so it looks like your lips casting a bigger shadow. So where are we up to? I have one or two more things. Quick that I'm going to do. Like I said, extra snatch today. We're putting on highlighter. This was the one of the Nikki tutorials had done a whatchamacallit, a collaboration with Ofra. And I found this one like way marked down in Nordstrom's rack. And I'm like, oh, I tried this once. And I knew this was really, really, it was a really good highlighter, very, very shiny. So I'll take this and just put this fairly lightly on my cheeks. And it's like, for some people want highlighter fucking blinding. And I'm a scientist in my late 30s. I like highlighter to be like, a little glowy, and I'll put it on, a couple different points, like obviously my cheeks, tiny little bit on the nose, a little bit on the Cupid's bow, and then I'll put it sometimes over here and over here, anywhere where I want to feel a little sparkly. And when I do that, I've noticed for videos, like I just look a little more luminescent, little glowier. And you know what? Who doesn't want to glow right now while we're all doing all of our meetings via fucking Zoom? And you know what? I do a lot of these. Like I don't always do this whole giant drag, like not top to bottom foundations. A lot of time lately, I'll just do under eye concealer, and I'll use basically my natural pinkness for blush, and then I'll just do eyeliner and mascara and tiny bit of contour and lipstick. Like I'll pare it down quite a bit when I drop foundation out of the picture, and just basically bring it down to, like I said, concealer, eyeliner, and blush. And it's like, this can go from everything to next to nothing. Oh, and of course, lipstick. I've got a couple of favorites that I've been using lately. There's a NYX one that I've been digging. Like I really dig orange toned lipsticks, or like orange neutrals. This one, it's supposed to be, as they call it, a NYX push up lipstick, and it has like a little bit of like a peppermint oil in it, but it doesn't it's like, it makes your lips poutier. It makes it tingles for a few minutes. It doesn't make them poutier, but I just like the color. Anyways, this one. But I wear this one quite a bit. Presto. Anyways, that's That's the whole fucking that's all she wrote. So that's what I throw on my face before I come onto this thing. Now, if you scroll back, and one of the reasons, other than other than the fact that I just my patrons were like, do it, that I decided to do this. I want you to scroll back to the beginning of the video, like after this, obviously, keep hanging out here, and go back and look at the difference right now to what this looked like an hour ago, to see what, like, this was, like I said, just a scientist doing this with all the same lighting live in front of you, to show you that indeed, this is not like, it's not lighting tricks. It's not something you have to be like this is just something that, like, any, like, and this, I don't think this looks like a crazy amount of makeup. I think that when people say, I want a woman who looks natural, like, they don't know what natural looks like. Like, this is just a slightly heavier makeup look than what people think natural looks like. When people tell me I look sick, I look like a normal day, just, without concealer on. So I just wanted to, there's my my debunk of this myth that when women look natural, it's without makeup. Like, the natural look means they're still piling it on, just without shimmery without shimmery eyelids. So anyways, like, at some, like, part of me wants to, like, wipe off one half of the face to be like, here's the difference. But yeah, like, that is the stuff that happens before this. So if you're a guy who's watching right now and it's like, why do women take so long? Because they want to look good, and they probably want to look good for you because you appreciate this shit. Like, it's, you say you don't, but I have yet to meet a man who reacts the same way when I am sans makeup as they do with some eyeliner on. I'm just saying, like, we can bullshit ourselves all we want. It helps. But yeah, it also helps me feel, I feel a little more delightful like this. Also, just whilst we are here, because I shared this yesterday with my patrons. I have some cute new glasses. I have my contact lenses in, so I'm gonna feel very insane looking through these right now. But before we get back to the Rona, I wanted to show these because we're here, and like I said, I'm leaning in to my cat ear obsession, and not only do my headphones have cat ears, but fucking look at these kitty ears, right? Little kitty ears in my glasses. Oh my god. How could I not go? How could I not love them? Are these not right? These are all from Zenny. So I got a few of them. I got a few glasses from Zenny. Those are the only ones that I put, like, extra stuff on them. These were $6.95 and did not get any upgrades on them, and I'm surprised at how much I like them. I just wish I'd gotten the anti-glare coating on them, but not bad for adorable little nerd glasses. So I kind of like those. And these were hold on a second. Again, I got 2 pairs for $6.95 because I have, over the course of the last several years, left 1 pair of glasses in Memphis and 1 pair in Tasmania. So I figure I needed extra. And these are I wanted librarian glasses just to keep in my purse. So these are the librarian glasses. Again, $6.95. So that was those were my, but I this is not a paid endorsement of Zenny. I was just really happy with my glasses. I also wanted to thank you guys because a handful of you guys threw some money into my PayPal when I was like, I need contacts and glasses right now. And literally the day those arrived, my old glasses, the earpiece fell off, and I now have contact. Obviously, because I'm talking right now with my contacts in. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I'm happy that I can see, and I'm happy that I have a couple of spare pairs of glasses now that I can that I can look and be. It's that I can use to make some characters to argue against each other with. Anyways, I'm the one that I'm surprised about. I'm surprised about how fucking cute these are. Like, this was my unexpected, like, really $6.90. I'm annoyed at myself for not getting the anti-glare coating. Anyways, so now that we've thrown on some makeup, I feel like what's her? I know the YouTuber, not the YouTuber. Like she's mainly on Facebook. She talks about murder mysteries while she does her makeup. Like now, I feel like I just need to start scripting out some stuff about COVID whilst makeuping. But anyways, let's chit chat a bit about like whilst before we move on to anything else, as we are at that hour mark. I need to keep you guys up to need to do a thing. It's been a while. I missed it. You missed it. We're all here for that. I hope that helped something deep inside of you, or hurt something deep inside of you. I'm not sure which. Anyways, so there's been like the last week, it feels like all the COVID news has been a combination of vaccines are coming out and also please don't leave your fucking house. And it's hard to kind of riff through that and find anything else. The mink story has been interesting and hard to see what the human impact of it is gonna be over time, because like it looks like it's obviously mutated. And the last article that I read on it said that it doesn't seem like it's mutated in a way that appears to be more harmful to humans yet, but it's also but we also we need to keep an eye on this, because it's like, unlike other animals that it's unlike other animal populations that it's infected with mink, it's killing them. So it's like, what's different with these animals? Is it that it's mutated in a way that's more deadly? Is it mutated in a way that's only deadlier to mink? Is it gonna, because it's now we have transmission from humans to minks, and from minks to humans. So it's like there are just at this point, kind of like we were back at the beginning of the pandemic, a lot of questions that we don't have answers to yet, as is the nature of science. So we'll find out with more time. I think it's awful that all of these animals need to be culled, obviously. Like this is just this. There's no good. There's no good thing to say about this. A lot of animals are dying, and they'd probably either be dying from or very, very sickened from COVID, or from a culling. And I think the point of this is maybe we should stop farming mink to make coats out of them. Just a guess. Just a suggestion. I don't know. Huh. I don't know. Maybe if COVID might kill another industry, but literally, like it's gonna kill this one's really going to kill an industry. Let's see. From Angela Cable, and I don't know if this is true. Evidently, a plane load of Pfizer's vax arrived in Chicago yesterday. I'm kind of wondering how distribution is going to work. Big cities first because of population, rural because there's next to no ICU beds. I'm not sure. And I read this from Alex Azar, and who the fuck knows? Because like we're gonna be transitioning, in the middle of rollout. And there are going to be multiple vaccines coming out. So that's going to be difficult. And I believe Alex Azar, I could be misremembering this. So please, as always, fact check me. I welcome it. I believe he said they were aiming for population centers and not at-risk populations, which at first kind of struck me as odd. And then it was like, wait, you will help more at-risk populations if you hit population centers first. I think at least that is my suspicion. I want to make sure I'm clear on this, because I absolutely agree with this comment from Erin. It really ought to be the frontliners first, no question. Yes, absolutely. The absolute first people who should be receiving this. Every doctor, nurse, hospital worker, janitor in a hospital. If you are working in a frontline job, if you're EMTs, paramedics, everybody who is in contact with COVID patients, everybody who their job puts them in contact with the public by necessity, they should be getting this vaccine first. People like me who I want this vaccine, like I really, really would like J and like because I know Pfizer is going to be opening the vaccine to people who got the placebo. They're going to be unblinding it and giving it to the placebo group. So I'm very jealous of my roommate who's in the Pfizer study and thinks that she got the placebo because she's like, well, I won't. I'll get it soon. J&J is hedging and being like, "Nah, we want more robust data." It's like, how much like how long are you like they're going to have a huge dropout rate because not a lot they want us in this for 2 years. They're not going to end up with people staying in it for 2 years for this. Let's see. Oh my god, frontline workers getting this vaccine first. I'm astounded. It's yeah, like this is one thing that we hope is they're going to do ethically, but it's the good news is by the time rollout really gets likely unless there's a the Biden administration will be in place. There are going to be people who believe in things like science and germ theory working on this. So it seems highly likely that this is going to be rolled out in both an intelligent and equitable manner. One thing that was fascinating / horrifying to me, fascinating from a sociological point of view, when Donald Trump said we're going to be sending this to all states except states like New York, who what had been mean to him. Here's the thing, I have friends from New York who were Trump voters, and I want to know how they felt at that moment when they were like, Trump's not going to give me the what? Like, I want to know, like, when they were like, I didn't think the leopards eating faces party would eat my face. But yeah, this is why it's not good to have a president who will punish individual states for petty political bullshit, because you never know when you're gonna have a plague, and he's gonna feel like getting petty with you about the cure for that. So that's the thing that's happening. But we're we have I think the depressing thing with these vaccines coming out when they are is that they're here. They're on our doorstep. I mean, they're so close. It's hold on a quick second. Mm-hmm. To pre-answer, it is iced tea. It's like the vaccines are in the process of getting emergency use authorization. We have 3 of them. I think we're going to be hitting 4 and 5 of them sooner than later. We have so many of them that are coming down the pipe soon, and in the next let's see, in the next whatchamacallit, 4 to 6 months, we're going to see enough vaccines for a large portion of the population to be vaccinated. And instead people are like, but I need Christmas right now. Why? Like, I just like, look, as someone who I've lived far away from home. By which I mean, when you move somewhere else, that's home. But I've lived far away from my family, or it's again, my husband and the people I live with now are my family, obviously. But I've lived far away from my mom and lived far away from the people that I spent Thanksgiving with the first 30 years of my life. And I want to go home and see my mom for the holidays. I want to go home and see that. But like, I think that holding off those few months for the vaccine means I get, because women in my family live to, as long as you don't smoke, women in my family live to be 95. I would like to have those next 25 Christmases with my mom. I'll skip that one, given that vaccine is a few months away. We could both get that vaccine and have a late Christmas. We could have Christmas at Easter. We could have Cadbury cream eggs and a Christmas tree. It'll be the most. It'll be ridiculous, and I love it. But like that's those are things that we just kind of we're just kind of it's I see people making excuses for it. I've gotten in, have you guys gotten into this argument? I'm sure if I have, you have, or you've seen it. The argument of why are you shaming these people? Like they behaved so well for these 8 months. They just wanted this one day. This one day is not that's not how this works. The virus does not take a day off. That's not that's not all right. I see somebody over on Periscope saying, "Don't take the vaccine. I'll ban his ass soon." It's sorry, Chris over on Periscope. I already took the vaccine. Anyways, let's see how many. Oh God, that. That's just depressing. How many people have already taken their last Thanksgiving pictures? Oh wait, we'll make that even more depressing. How many people have already taken their last Thanksgiving pictures and don't know it yet? A lot. A lot. Oh God, a lot. Like, 10,000 maybe? Like, just judging by how the number 10, 20,000? There's 20,000 people out there who don't realize just in terms of the people who like the ones that got it at Thanksgiving dinner. Oh my God, that's horrifying. So it's Chris over on Periscope who's mad that I told him, "Fuck you, I took the vaccine." Is like, "You're sweet." So here's the thing: when people are talking about risks from the vaccine, I want to discuss why we discuss the wrong risks. Like I saw Rep Massey, who's just could not be a bigger asshole if he tried. He is a man who tries as hard as he possibly can to miss the point with everything science. And as Star asked earlier, is this where you get to the point where you talk about politics putting its stick in science? Yes, it is. So it's the thing with Massey's like, which would you prefer? Taking a vaccine that gives you a 70 to 90% chance of immunity, or getting the disease that gets a 99.99% chance of immunity? I'm like, well, you're comparing the wrong things here. The thing is, the vaccine likely prevents you from getting the disease that gives you about and the disease both gives you a 1% chance of dying and about a 10% chance, no matter how old you are, uh, and having long-term health complications. And we don't know, like, we've never seen from all the vaccines in the market, all of them, like, we have never seen long-term health complications from a vaccine. And I've looked around, I've asked you guys to fact check me on this. We have not. The only people who espouse that there are long-term health complications from vaccines are crazy people. They're crazy fucking people. Okay? It's people who make a living by telling you the vaccines are out to get you with Monsanto's Roundup and they're making the frogs gay and the what. That's who those people are, okay? They're telling you that the vaccines are going to give you long-term health effects. They're lying. Okay? That's what we call liars. And we need to be adults about this because this is killing people. And this disease is going to keep killing people until we have a vaccine that people en masse take. Because right now, only about 10% of the country, give or take, about 10% of the country has gotten COVID, and 250,000 to 300,000 people have died. That tracks with about a 1% fatality rate. We're going to see 2 to 3 million people die if this just keeps going unchecked. If this just keeps going unchecked without a vaccine, without people social distancing, without people following the rules. So when people say it was just one weekend, I needed one day off from this, virus don't care. When people say I'm gonna skip the vaccine, I'll be fine. People around me will get vaccinated. We're not, we're gonna have herd immunity. You don't know what your long-term health effects are going to be if you get your quote part of the herd immunity from getting sick. Like whenever and the other thing is and this was disappointing. Now I've talked about why I think, we as science communicators need to be on board on the same team, and we need to be consistent with our messaging. And I've ranted a bit about a couple of people on SciComm. Paul Offit, and yes, Paul Offit has come around and apologized for getting it wrong. Still has not apologized to me for fucking blocking me for calling him out for saying this was going to be less deadly than the flu when it clearly was not. It's I saw this the other day. Do you guys know? Do you guys follow? I think it's Dr. Mike over on YouTube. He was, and this, there were pictures of him hanging out at the beach with a group of like 20 friends, all maskless, all just hanging out on top of each other. And he's been really, really good on YouTube with, promoting with promoting, being careful with your behavior, with promoting good behavior during the pandemic. And then we see pictures of him, a bunch of pictures of him doing exactly what he's been telling people not to do. And I look at that and I'm like, man, really glad I've been following all the advice I've been telling people to follow, or else I'm the asshole who's like, it's, and I look at this and go, how many other science communicators have been breaking the fucking rules like this? Like, and that's just, it bugs me because I know it's happening. I absolutely, no, it's questioning, or no, it's happening. Let's see. Russell Smith said, "You got your one day off, fine." Now the question is, which of your family members will get all the days off? Like, it's just you don't know. When you see somebody, skip, like when you see somebody breaking it for just one day, it feels like you look at it and go, "All right, you told us, you apologized for breaking it just that one time. How do we know it was just that one time when, when this is, just the one time you got caught, when you've been telling everybody else, don't go out, don't do everything, don't do life. And this just happens to be the one we caught you with pictures of." So it's just, I promise you, as you guys have seen me slowly have mental breakdown after, mental breakdown. I've been up here in my, I've been, up here in my attic, having it's going through this with you. Somebody over on Periscope is very angry that I'm enjoying my kitty ear schoolgirl headphones. Vice versa, I just want to let you know, I'm sorry that joy makes you sad. What went wrong in your childhood? Vice versa, is something wrong? I think something's deeply wrong with your life. If my wearing kitty girl headphones that I have personally decorated, look at this, I even glitter glued them. Is something wrong? Vice versa, I'm really sorry that something's really upsetting your life, because it's not my kitty ears that are upsetting you. It's your small penis. Anyways, I just wanted to clarify that for the troll. Anyways, I'm also glad that he said I'm 30, because I'm definitely not 30. So moving on. But yeah, there's we have this we have this culture where it's what a miserable SOB to criticize your kitty ears, right? And just to clarify, I just want to point out, not only do I have kitty ear headphones, I have kitty ear glasses. They have their own kitty. I needed extra kitty ear. Just wanted to point that out. I like my kitty ears. Don't fuck with my kitty ears. But let's see, where was I before I so rudely interrupted myself with talk of the COVIDs and talk of where we are with this. I'm very good at losing my train of thought every once in a while. I've been doing okay today. But let's see, Dr. Mike, and it's and him flouting the rules. Yeah, like I see, he's the only one who I've seen it like break it this flagrantly, who's been so good and so and so on top of giving people really good advice. And like here's the thing, he put out an apology video that really it wasn't an apology. Like, it was guys, I just really needed a day off. Mike, you fucked up. Like, here's the thing, you guys aren't gonna catch me out doing this, because I'm not going to. But I'm pretty sure if you were to catch me, I'd be like, I'm a hypocrite and you have every right to not take me seriously anymore. Which is why I wouldn't do, like, I'm sitting here, like I said, I'll be up here losing my mind, having a mental health breakdown with the rest of you guys, because I'm not gonna, I think I can't, I don't think that I can tell you to do a thing that I'm not doing with you at this point. Like I earlier in the pandemic, like because things are so bad right now, and I've said I want to address this right now. Let's see. Do you have thoughts on Great Britain setting vitamin D? Have I seen thoughts on the role on the? Do I have any thoughts on the role of vitamin D? It doesn't seem to have the role that we thought it did earlier. Now, at most, at best, there is a correlation between having low levels of vitamin D, like severely low levels of vitamin D, and a worst case. But that doesn't seem to be like, it seems like there's other fuckery going on there. It's I But like the thing that kind of accidentally turned into a thing is that people have been like, oh, vitamin D is a cure. No, you just need to have adequate levels of vitamin D. So, if you're drinking it, like I believe mushrooms are a really good source of vitamin D. Like it's, vitamin D, fortified milk products are obviously a good source of it. There are a handful of sources of vitamin D that are readily available in your diet. If like I'll go, it's, I normally, I am as you can see from my paleness, I am a sunscreen loving person. I take at least one 15-minute walk a day, just without sunscreen. I still have my face because, I need to preserve this shit. But like I'll go out for about 15 minutes a day without sunscreen just to get a little bit of vitamin D naturally. And that's, it's just make sure you're at, like, get it tested, but make sure you're at, an adequate level, and you should be fine. But like one thing I want to say, I know I've joked, and it's not a joke, but like I get Botox partially because I'm a vain asshole, and partially because it really helps with my headaches. My headaches are worse right now. And look, it has been it's been a struggle to get my Botox covered by insurance for my headaches. And I basically end up going to the types of, I basically end up going to medical spas to get it done with a Groupon because that's the cheapest way to get it done. And I'm not gonna, like, I'm dealing with my headaches being worse right now because the type of people who are willing to go to a medical spa right now are the type of people I don't trust to wear a mask all the time. So I can deal with my forehead being wrinkled. I can't deal with the headaches, and I'm dealing with the headaches being worse because I'm not gonna that's just, it's not an acceptable risk right now. Like earlier in the pandemic when we had like a lull, I went out because my head was getting bad, and I'm like, all right, I hope this lasts for a good long time. But man, my headaches are getting worse, and it's like, it depends on how it depends on how bad if it gets to the point where I'm like it's really really interfering with my work, I might risk it. But like it's not, like I said, seeing a doctor who's been trying tickle in my throat, not the Rona. Seeing a doctor who has been telling people follow the rules, just fucking flout them, and I won't even go to a doctor's office for a thing I need, partially because I know other people are going to that doctor's office for a thing they don't need. Drives me a little fucking crazy, and I think I'm allowed to have that emotion over this. So anyways, let's see. Brady Kinnon hypothesis supports making sure your vitamin D levels are high enough, but not going crazy with supplements. Yeah, and that's basically the deal. With that one is you just need enough. Like it's, if you're what should we call it? If you're concerned about this, talk to your doctor about just getting your levels checked, making sure you're at an adequate point. And I know that I know a lot of times we get into this discussion here and people will say vitamin pills are bullshit, blah, blah. If it makes you feel better, pop a multivitamin. Or if it makes you feel more assured that you're getting enough in your diet, a multivitamin will make sure you're at, just getting what you need to make sure that you're not that you're not deficient on anything. So like I'm scared to go to get blood tests right now at my doctor, just because I'm like, the hospital is where disease is. It's and I mean, it's partially that LA is going to be, the hospitals are going to be full in 2 to 4 weeks. Like, I don't want to go into a doctor's office for shit right now. Like, I'll go if I have a stroke, heart attack, or a broken bone. Any other ouch, like, I have to right now, I'd have to be very, very sick. I'm not going for minor, no. But like, I'm not going to go for like, it's I'm not going to go for a blood test to see if I have a vitamin deficiency, just to see, because in case that might be a thing that makes my case of COVID a little worse, because going in to do that might put me at risk for COVID. So at worst, take a multivitamin, and as HJK said, worst case, you will have expensive pee. Now, this is a good question from Rodrigo. Sorry, it scrolled past me. Isn't taking a multivitamin unnecessarily dangerous for your kidneys? I have never seen evidence to suggest it's unnecessarily dangerous for your kidneys. Taking like mega dose vitamins. Now, there are like crazy mega doses where you're taking like 15 times the recommended doses of certain vitamins. That I don't know which ones, but I'm sure there are some that can be dangerous depending on the level and depending on the vitamin or mineral. But a multivitamin itself for the average person is completely fine, and it's not it is not a bad idea right now when we're not sure the exact connection. And the other thing is, it's it's a good thing to have enough vitamin D in your system. But right now, well, like, this is not the worst thing you can do for your health. And me, I'm a person who always tells you don't need fucking supplements. Just go to your doctor and test if you're like, I'm nervous to go for a test. Take a multi, it'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, I know you guys see me interacting with Akiko a lot. She's one of my patrons, and she's dealing with cancer right now. And I'm looking out for you, girl. I have no choice but to go to hospitals and pharmacies. I wear an N95 and a surgical mask over it. After having to wear it for hours, wearing a surgical mask feels like nothing at all. It's funny because like I now because of because of it being so prevalent in LA right now, I've switched from wearing a cloth one to anytime I'm going into a store with like a larger amount of people wearing a surgical mask, or not a surgical mask, or a KN95, and it's just I'm so. I have not been this scared of COVID since the very beginning of the pandemic, and that's that's the yeah, that's the scary part about this is watching is that it really is that prevalent right now. So if you can get your hands on, this is not the time to wear, lightweight cloth masks. If you've been wearing a bandana, if you know people who are still wearing bandanas, talk them into getting a good mask, a multi-layer one, even just, one of the basic, black masks with a couple of elastics over it. But just bandanas are not offering sufficient protection at this point. Like, I've seen people wear bandanas that are completely open on the bottom. How is that? That is not doing that's not doing what we need. But if if you can, if you possibly can get, because I can't get an N95, but I can get a buttload of KN95s here, and they seem to be reputable. But yeah, if you can get some KN95s for your minimal trips to the grocery store, please, that'll help a little bit more. It'll, like I said, if you're sick, if you're trying to, that's the best thing you can get to either prevent you from breathing it out or breathing it in from other people. This is a really good point from Kevin Howard. I wear a cloth mask over the KN95. That will kind of keep the KN95 clean and kind of help preserve it for an extra wear. So good idea. The other one thing, do not wear a mask underneath the the KN95. I tweeted about this about a week or so ago. I saw someone, it was when I was, oh my God, I was in line at Trader Joe's, and like I hate correcting people. Like I didn't want to correct her in the store because there she was wearing the thing, and that would have involved her taking out the fucking mask. But this girl has a real N95, like a good one, like a surge, one that like the green ones. And I'm like, she has an N95, and underneath it, under fucking neath it, she has a surgical mask. I'm like, mm, that's a waste of both of those. Like it's, I posted about it on Twitter. I'm like, if I never see another person wearing a surgical mask underneath an N95, it will be too soon. And a couple people were commenting, about, well, I wear one on top of it. I'm like, well, that's probably, they're like, I wear one on top of my N95. I'm like, well, that's probably why I said underneath, not on top of now, isn't it? They're like, yeah, like big difference. Like if you wear something underneath the N95, that renders it useless, because the point of the N95 is that it makes that good seal with your skin. It's fitted. So wearing something on top of it for extra protection, that's fine. Please don't wear something underneath the N95. N95 is the thing that touches your face. That is the best layer of protection. You can wear something on top of that though. So just wanted to clarify. Want to make sure you guys know, if you do manage to get your hands on some the KN95s, that is your best layer of protection. And I'm really happy that at least now in LA, because like we have a lot of Korean and Japanese grocery stores. Like at my local Korean grocery store, like there's a shop right next to it, which is where I got my lovely foundation. They also, like, it used to be just like a makeup and beauty supply shop, and now like half the shop is masks. So like I'll pop in and I'm like I could use a new BB cream, and also I need a 20 pack of masks. Let's see. I'd rather see people, from HJK, I'd rather see people trying to wear a mask than belligerent assholery and no mask. Yeah, it's like, I mean, I'm not, A, for effort, I'm glad that this girl was wearing 2 masks, but like, I also, work smarter, not harder. Like, wear them in a way that's going to work out, Let's see, we switched to going drive up grocery pickup instead of going into the store. It's, for Thanksgiving, this is the first time I've done this in a while, was I ordered some groceries delivered, and I had not done, like, I did most of my grocery shopping for Thanksgiving on Saturday. I went Saturday morning, and it was surprisingly quiet. So, everything that worked out pretty well. But then, like for my last, I'd forgotten a few things, and this was just frustrating. I made an order from Amazon Whole Foods delivery, and not only did they not deliver it, they're like, oh, we're gonna hold on to your money for the next 5 days. So I, of course, still had to, because I had very little time, I had to go to the store anyway. So that was, but yeah, I've been trying, because, I got less scared as the pandemic went on, because it seemed like, okay, these are things we'll be fine. It seemed, it's just, for a while I was less scared of the day-to-day stuff. And now it's not that I think the grocery store in general is scarier. It's that I think there are so many people, and when you have that high of a mass of people that might be getting sick, inevitably some are going to have some are going to be COVID positive and not wearing their mask right, and cough close to you or close to a couple of grocery store workers, and the grocery store workers are going to be there long enough and eventually have their masks out. Like those are things that are legitimate to worry about while we're having this raging of a pandemic, especially in a neighborhood where there are a bunch of college students who have been partying. And I just, hold on a quick sec. Where is, hold on. I also just want to, I need to get batteries for it, but I just also want to thank Akiko for if you guys want to look, there are some amusing things on there, from candy to stuff that I don't expect anyone to ever buy me because they're far too expensive, and they're on there like as aspirational things. But like as you guys know, I have I have complained a lot about the house next to me having parties all through this fucking pandemic. And if they keep doing this, and I was like, I just had this idea of like driving around, just going up to houses and just saying, I think you're unaware. We're in the middle of a pandemic. And I was like, man, I would like a bullhorn to do this. And I said this in the middle of a stream, and someone was like, we can send you a bullhorn. So thanks, Akiko. I would go have some fun with this if people start having parties in my neighborhood. I just wanted it because I asked around about how illegal it would be, like if it would break noise ordinances. And the thing is, people who are throwing illegal parties would have to report me for being loud. It's like it's you know what, I will add a vuvuzela to my list. Uh, to my list, Ekiko. Russell just said you need to add more kitty ear merchandise to my wish list. Look, Russell, I'm going to be blunt. If I add too much kitty ear merchandise to my wish list, you're going to make my husband far too happy. So I'm gonna have to do it. Like right after this is over. Like check back on the wish list in like 2 hours after this. I'm gonna just add all the kitty ear things. All the kitty ear things. But yeah, like I'm just saying, Russell, it's look, it's yeah, the thing I appreciate most is when you guys join my Patreon, right? Because number one, I have a patron only live stream. It's once a month. When we hit $1,000 a month on the Patreon, I'm gonna have 2 patron only live streams a month, which I'm looking forward to because I love interacting with you guys. I love getting like it's been nice to get to know some of you guys more. There's a little community building. But like it's the reason I put the Amazon wish list out there was partially, let's see what happens. And do you have any idea how much candy you guys have sent me? There's been much candy, and I really appreciate it. There is still a 1.5 pound bag of dehydrated Lucky Charms marshmallows that I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm happy that I have it. Steve Patterson asked, is there a link to this wish list? The last link in the description of this video, there's a link to my Patreon. There's a link to my PayPal if you would like to make a one-time donation. And there's a link to the Amazon wish list. And a couple of you guys have definitely gone above and beyond what any one human is. Like I said, I don't expect any. I really appreciate when you guys join Patreon because, like I said, yeah, it's a wonderful sense of community. It keeps me going. The Amazon wish list is I'm fucking amused when I receive. Hold on a second. Like this is gonna last forever, but someone sent the 90 some odd ounce bucket of now and laters, and I was just so joyful at the fact that arrived. That was there. But I mean, yeah, there are other things on there that make me. These are not the pair, but there are fuzzy socks on there. I like my fuzzy socks. These are the things I appreciate from you guys. So, anyways, that's the you guys keeping me alive portion of the of the show. But that was it. But it's because I have a lot of kitchen stuff on there. You guys were at my were at my Thanksgiving. Like so many of the little gadgets that were bought for my kitchen were there. It's the tiny little 4-inch springform pans. I made a couple of cheesecakes in those. And also patrons got access to my cheesecake recipe. So if you think my cheesecake recipe and it is worth $1, come join us on Patreon. I'm just saying that it's the cheesecake recipe is fiercely guarded, but for $1. That's all. I'm just saying it is that good. Mento Darmento on the marshmallows. Pour milk on them and eat them. I think that's good enough. Oh, those look like they'd be good to chuck at college students being foolish. There's a lot that would be good to chuck at college students being foolish. I've been joking about hiding lightly used kitty litter on their property. Lightly used. By lightly used, I mean reeks of cat piss. Rodrigo said, sounds like we will get a side cook show pretty soon. I thought about it, and it's like, here's the thing. I think it's because I look at cooking shows online that are really good. And number one, I know that there are people that are great at explaining this already. And I'm like, I don't know what I could add. I do not know what I could add to the cooking sphere out there, because a lot of times I'm just recreating someone else's recipe. So it's Steve Patterson. The cheesecake recipe is behind a paywall. It's funny. I won't paywall any of my science content, but I'll paywall my cheesecake recipe. Like that cheesecake recipe is a good recipe. But the other thing is like I reverse engineered a friend's cheesecake recipe, who like he's a professional baker, and I'm dead sure that I have it within like 5% of what his recipe is, and it's that good. And like I just look, I don't it's a fiercely guarded recipe, because like even though I don't know for sure that it's his, but it tastes like almost exactly like it, I'm like, nah, I gotta guard this recipe. So you gotta be a Patreon to get the recipe. That's just that's my only that's it. It's oh, this is some next level shit. This is great. Could you combine the cheesecake with the Lucky Charm marshmallow? Oh, oh, a woman after my own heart. I could. That's a that's the thing that I could do. Board Again Geek said, "I'm here. What have I missed? I put my makeup on live. We've talked about people. I talked shit about Dr. Mike for going out and partying in the pandemic. I said that I'm not getting Botox for a while because the clinics that I go to get my Botox are the types of places where people go who have not been following socially distancing rules, even though my headaches have been hurting. Some troll bitched about my kitty ears, and I told him, sorry, your penis is sad. I haven't made a Ben Shapiro's wife's pussy is dry joke, but Ben Shapiro's wife's pussy is dry. So I guess I've covered all my bases today. Hope I could help. I sorry I couldn't be a solid joke on the Ben Shapiro's wife's pussy is dry thing, but Ben Shapiro trying to please a woman is a joke. So, whew. Sorry, Ben. Sorry, man. Just it's never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. One day. Charms went on to his chef's. Ooh, cheesecake with toasted marshmallows. my friend and Dr. Nina Shapiro just commented, and I am not related to Ben Shapiro. Yeah, you're not related to Ben Shapiro, and you believe in germ theory. At some point, I need it's after we get off of I need to schedule you to be on the show, because Dr. Nina Shapiro wrote the book Hype. It's a very good book on skepticism on various dubious bullshit medical claims, and also also she is a pediatric otolaryngologist, so she has been dealing with I believe a lot of the types of people who have lost their sense of smell and taste throughout this. So she's seen a lot of COVID up close and personal, and has been one of the main cheerleaders of stay the fuck home through all this on my timeline. So like it's we have a group of the same friends. So any of any seeing people get together at our groups have been us, like people dropping things off on each other's doors and like running away. Like that's how my friends have been seeing each other, is we drop things off on each other's doors and wave from a distance, and we'll see you eventually. Bye. One day again. I just what another piece of advice from the doctor, and put your fucking mask on. I appreciate that. Oh, wait, hold on. Have to get that to pop up. There we go. It's the look, we need these, sometimes we need these pieces of advice direct from a professional. I feel without that it loses something. Like I can yell at you guys to put your masks on. We need a doctor behind it. So scrolling through a little bit. Someone just said, I don't know Ben Shapiro. I don't know him personally. It's the actress Mara Wilson is cousins with them, and she said a while ago on Twitter, she's like, yeah, some people in the family I just stopped hanging out with a while ago. Let's see. What Mento, what's it like to have friends? I forgot. I haven't seen mine in person in a long time. Like it's there was something I want to. This has come up a few times. Like, what's life going to be like when we? I think I'm gonna close on this. What's it going to be like when we quote get back to normal? And how do we reintegrate with things? Because when we start. When we start getting vaccinated, it's not going to be like you have your vaccine, take your mask off. It's going to be you have your vaccine, so keep your mask on, because from what I understand, you still get, like, the virus still comes. It's not like you have the vaccine and there's a force field up. You have the vaccine And so the virus can still get into your system and you can still spread it to other people. It's just that your body now has a way to fight it off without you getting the disease from it, right? So these are things we have to remember, is that keeping that mask on will stop you, if you get the disease, from spreading it to other people. It's just you need to just hang out with other people who've been vaccinated, so that when that spread happens, none of you get the disease part of it. So you still have to, when you're out in public for a while, mask up. So there's it's these are things I trying to try to push home on this. So it's as was pointed out, you can still get the virus even if you're vaccinated. So it's just, like I said, it's you will not there, and there's a difference. This is why it's been pointed out a lot. There's SARS-CoV-2, the virus, and COVID-19, the disease that the virus causes. So you can catch the SARS-CoV-2 virus, the microbe in your body, with even with the vaccine, but it will not develop into COVID-19. Voila. Do we understand? Did we understand that? But because you can catch it and it'll be in your system and you can cough it out, and you don't know who around you has been vaccinated for the first year or so, it's you need to keep that back. You need, if you care about the people around you, and we're going back to the good Dr. Shapiro again, 6 to 12 months of masks after the vaccine is out. If you were around all people, I would say the only time you can take it off is when you're around all people who have vaccinated and or have gotten the virus before. When you're around all people who have immunity, then you can take it off. But when you're just out in the world, 6 to 12 months. So there we go. Let's see. All right. I want to answer a few more questions. Starling. Okay. I asked one of the first streams, if you've had it, you can still transmit it. And if you've had it, you can still try. All right. Well, you can't, I believe you cannot. Let's see. Did I just hear you say that if you have had it, you won't get the disease? But all right. So I don't know. I apologize if I explain that poorly. So say you have not gotten COVID yet and you get the vaccine. So, and then you are exposed to COVID, your body will still, or sorry, and then your body is exposed to the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Yep. Your body, the SARS-CoV-2 virus is going to get into your system. It's just, it will not develop into the disease, all those symptoms that we know of as COVID-19. Does that make sense? You can still, and when that disease is in your, or when that virus is in your system, you can spread it to other people even without any disease or any symptoms of that disease occurring within you. So that's why you should keep wearing a mask, is because you don't know who's gotten vaccinated, you don't know their situation. So it's why we keep wearing a mask after vaccination. So you will have your immunity. You don't know what's happening with other people, and you'll have your immunity. And that doesn't mean that the disease comes in and it's just kicked out at the door. It means you have the immunity to it, so it can't make you sick. Let's see. Born Again Geek asked, "Did we learn anything more about that Kawasaki type disease that was affecting children?" I had not. I had not read anything about that. Let's see. Ryan Blackhawk said, I think the question was about how long you shed. I am not, it tends to be, given that we think it's about 10 to 14 days without the vaccine, I would guess when you're vaccinated, and I know I'm just conjecturing like hell right here, but it seems likely that it's going to be about the same amount of time, or I would treat it as though it's the same amount of time for the vaccine. I would treat the amount of time that you are contagious when you have the vaccine as the amount of time as when you don't. So about 14 days. But the other thing is, how will you know? Right. So that's why it's just, for the following year, while the vaccine's in rollout, just wear a mask when you're around people who you don't know who have not been vaccinated, or if you're just out in public in general. And I think that's the way we can start getting back to normal is, get your vaccine. if you're around people who've all been vaccinated, you can take it off. But if you're around people who haven't been, it's for their protection. And I think that's because you don't know if you've been exposed. It's possible, but we'll get that's. I hope that answered that question. And it's like there's going to be a lot of discussion about this, and I should probably write something down about it to kind of like I'll sit down and interview a few people and try to get something a little bit more set in stone about how this is all gonna work out, because I feel that there are people who are going to try to communicate this from the top who are going to botch it, given that they couldn't even communicate over at AstraZeneca how effective their vaccine was, which is terrifying. Like, guys, you had a triumph, and now people are confused that your vaccine is a triumph, which makes me very sad. So anyways, like the punchline is just, yeah, we got to wear a mask for a bit longer. But I don't know about you. I bought all these masks. I want to keep wearing them. They're fucking cute. So that's the other thing is I've gotten so used to just being able to like I don't know about you guys. I have conversations with myself in the shower. I've won a couple of very intense arguments with myself in the car, and I like that I can have that mask on and no one can see me having that fucking argument with myself. So yeah, I'm highly in favor of continuing with the masks, for the following year. It doesn't bother me one bit. So just, it's going to keep us all safe for a bit longer. And if we can manage, and I get it, the staying home sucks. It sucks for all of us. But the vaccines, it is imminent. It's in sight. I'm like, this is great. Like the news is both great and horrible, and it's great because of human ingenuity, and it's horrible because of the worst parts of humanity. Like, where this pandemic has shown us both the best and the worst parts of what humans can be. Like, it's all the work that people have put into getting a vaccine out and ready in a year. That is a monumental it's just a monumental achievement in science, to have done all that, to have put all that human talent and drive and training and knowledge together to say, to save that many lives, and to see people squander that with disinformation and with political agendas is it's maddening. It's disheartening. But at the end of the day, I think that trying to get the good word of science out and try to, talk about it in a way that makes sense to people, it's a helpful cause. And so we gotta keep fighting for the light, and gotta keep fighting against the disinformation and the assholes. So, because a lot of good people did something, maybe some assholes, I don't know, but a lot of good people did some work here that's going to save hundreds of thousands, if not millions of lives, as soon as this vaccine is out on the market. And if we can just stop a few more people from getting together for the holidays, if we can maybe get a politician to act responsibly and put out a mask mandate, maybe Georgia which state was it that they just mandated that states can't, or that cities can't put out mask they halted mask mandate? Why would they stop mask mandate? I don't even have words for it anymore. But there are places that are just saying no mask mandates. You can't have that. Like, I look at this all and I wonder if I mean, I know the answer to it, and I wonder, the question that I always ask is, will they only believe it when it happens to them? And I know the answer is yes. Like, because I read this in the paper. Every time that another person, there's a think piece. There's a think piece that comes out every time that there's another a Trumper or a denialist or whoever that said, I didn't think that it could happen to me. I thought it was everyone on my news feed said it was fake. All the news programs that I listen to say it was a hoax. I'm a follower of Donald Trump, and he was saying that it wasn't real, and why would he lie to me? And then I went to church, I went to a group, I went to one gathering with my family, whatever, and then 2 days later, one of the people that was there got a cough, and then it was me, and then it was my husband, then it was my kid. And the story always ends the same way, either, with everyone in the family being miserable for 2 months, or somebody being intubated in the hospital, or somebody dying, and that person sitting there with this horrible sense of loss, of not knowing what to think about the world, because this thing that they fought about for the last few months, this thing that they got into arguments, that they probably severed ties with loved ones because they were so adamant about the COVID hoax. They argued about that they didn't need masks. They formed a bit of their identity, arguing that this thing didn't exist, that just maimed them, killed a loved one, and now they have to sit here and think about, how do you live with yourself when you have to just sit there and think about what you've done that possibly killed some people, when all the information was just sitting there for you and you fell for some bullshit. Who's responsible for that? Like, and those think pieces are going to keep coming, because every single time it's going to be, I didn't think it could happen until it happened to me. I didn't think it happened until it happened to me. 200,000 Americans dead, 250, 300, 350. Eventually, like, we're going to have a million dead Americans eventually. Like, it's just going to keep coming. And I want to know, how many bodies need to stack for these people to take it seriously. And it's always the only number that counts for them is one, just one. It's a body that they know. It's never all the other bodies. Those do not matter at all. So, like, I don't believe these people when they say they care about about protecting the children. I don't believe these people when they say they care about soldiers. I don't believe these people when they say they care about being pro-life and protecting babies. They don't care about alive Americans who they could easily save by putting a stupid piece of cloth on their stupid fucking face right now. They don't care about saving lives. They care about themselves, and they only care about people when it's someone they know. Very obviously, because we have a literal mountain of dead Americans, and they do not care until it's them. So, yeah. It's right now, and I get it, the official stats are over 250, but according to the excess death statistics, well over 300,000. We're at about a third of a million Americans have died from COVID right now, and there are people who, and I hate that journalists are going to keep on printing this without even once asking them, so why wasn't 300,000 Americans enough for you to take this serious? Just, I don't care that they're grieving right now. Those people who are grieving did a thing that did this to themselves. They probably, through their actions, killed one of their relatives and possibly killed or hurt somebody else. I want one of these journalists to grow a set and ask them, so why wasn't 300,000 dead Americans enough for you to think this was a bad idea? I want the answer to that in one of these articles, because I'm tired of it. Because we're going to keep on seeing the same thing that I don't know if it's supposed to make me feel bad for them. I don't. These are the people that have called me a sheep for months, that told me I was overreacting. They've said I'm a sheep, that I'm just following the mainstream media narrative, and these are the people that after all of it are just sitting there with a sense of, I don't know what to think about the world anymore. We've been telling you the truth this whole time. I have no agenda other than to tell you, hey, this is germ theory is real, and there are really easy way. Like, it's like, we're not even trying to inject some shit into you. We're just trying to put a piece of cloth, a technology that's over 100 years old, onto your face. Nina just put it as something very accurate. I think the hospitals are manipulating the numbers. Like, how do you argue with crazy like that? Like, it's when they don't trust anyone except for the person that we all know to be just spreading false information. Like, they don't trust the picture. They don't trust the pictures of the refrigerated trucks coming in to be mobile morgues. They don't trust all the doctors and nurses telling them about all the trauma they're going through, deciding which patients get to live and die based on the likelihood that they'll survive. And it's like, who gets the ventilator? Well, this one's a little younger, and it's like I think about that when I think about the fact that they're filling up again. And this is something that my friends who work in emergency and ICUs are going to be going through soon all over the country. That's where this is going to be, and there are going to be people who and this has happened within the last few months. We've read stories about people who, as they're going under, they're arguing with their nurses and doctors that they don't have COVID and they'd rather have lung cancer because they think it's a hoax. And they think it's a hoax till their literal dying breath. I say this half jokingly. That's why I chose to do my makeup at the beginning of this, because I think if nothing matters to these people, then I'm gonna put on some glitter eyeliner and some kitty ears, because there's not much that's gonna make them take this seriously. Why not paint some glitter on your eyelids? But I don't. I just there's we could. I don't think there's anything that we could have done differently. I think there were conditions in place in this country and an administration in place in this country that was going to fuck it up no matter what. I don't think that science communicators could have we did everything we could. I switched everything I was doing. I wasn't an infectious disease person. This is not my main thing. I've had to read a lot. My main thing is dietary science and agricultural sciences, that kind of and toxicology. I've had to switch a lot. I've had to do a lot of work. And it was just all like, all right, this is an all hands situation. We need to communicate what's happening right now in the world. And every science communicator I know has done everything they possibly could to try to drive home the seriousness of the situation and tell people what they need to do to stay safe. And we could not fight against it's like trying to throw a snowball against an avalanche. There was nothing. At some point you just go, there's nothing we can do. You're still going to throw everything you can against it, but when the calls are coming from inside the house, when all the bad information is coming from the president, when all he would have had to have done, and I know I've said this before, is just give he could have pulled the book from his wife's pulled the page from his wife's book and just stolen Merkel's speech. You remember when she stole Michelle Obama, plagiarized some of Michelle Obama's speech, allegedly? Why didn't he just translate Merkel's speech from German and give that? Oh man, the country would have taken some shit seriously. It would have been this. It's Donald Trump finally became president today. It would have been some stoic, amazing shit that made everyone go, man, this is going to be hard, but we're going to pull through like our parents. It would have been great. He didn't have it in him. Never did. He's a bad president. He's going to be a bad president for the next 6-ish weeks, and then he's going to be gone. And that's the thing, is that we did our jobs. And at some point with communicating science, you have to remember, we're not communicating in a vacuum. And this is where, as I believe it was Starr who mentioned earlier that I was going to bring up the politics put its dick in science. I did not dick around in politics. Politics put its dick in science. And it's we could only do so much when the vast majority of the information infecting the ecosystem was coming from on top. It's where we have a good reach, me, reputations to anti-vax memes, a science enthusiast, and it's their Credible Hulk. There are a ton of us out there who are doing specifically SciComm, trying to infiltrate, your we're trying to make stuff that's shareable content that people will go, oh, I get this now. If we can get you to understand something quickly and easily, we're trying to break through a cultural zeitgeist. That's a goal that's easy to, it's a thing we're trying to do, and it's not always easy. And getting it through is here's the thing: getting it through once or twice, we can do that. Getting it through when you're being fire hosed with so much disinformation that even smart people go, yeah, but there's so many people saying this, I don't know what to think. And I can't blame people for being confused about this. It's just, we just got hit so hard, we didn't even know we got hit really hard with so much disinformation. It's impossible when the people who are supposed to be on your team are are fucking with the information that's coming out of the CDC, are pulling out of the WHO, are telling you, I don't need to wear a mask. So yeah, that's this could have not, as I've said over and over again, this never had to be so awful. And now we're at the awfulest part of it. Los Angeles has come under a shelter-in-place order unless you have, I don't know if it's unless you have an essential job. Like, I don't know if they're telling people you have to stay home. But I'm not leaving the house except for groceries, like every other week is my plan. I'm staying home quite a bit. Just stay at home, wear your masks, take care of your people. Remember, the things that you do affect everyone around you when it comes to COVID. We're all in this together. Like I know hearing, again, I'm not a celebrity. I'm a jackass in my attic. I know hearing celebrities saying we're all in this together rings hollow sometimes. But like I said, I'm a loudmouth in my attic with my hold on a second, adorable dog who's been waiting back here to say hello to you this entire time. Hi, baby. Hello. He's so happy. He's a good doggy. He's tasting all the makeup. He's taking it all off. I'm shocked and horrified by this because apparently it's. Thank you, Nita, for telling me a thing that I didn't want to know. Apparently, the only groups that can meet in LA are churches. So yeah, well, the good thing is at least nobody lives. At least nobody believes in God in LA. We'll be fine. But anyways, things are fucked up in LA, and they're going to keep being fucked up in LA in a while. And things are fucked up in a lot of the country. And if you're one of my people who lives in Australia or New Zealand, I'm really jealous. And I hope you guys are continuing to be okay. If you're living in one of the other parts of the world that are getting American-y right now, I'm sorry. Stay safe, wear a mask, stay home. Stay home. Stay home. That's all I got right now. It's the best thing I can tell you to do right now. Stay home. Because you know what's home? Really cute puppies. Right, doggy? But he agrees. Anyways, I love you guys. I'll see you later this week. Bye.